Good morning. Today we are going to be learning about analogies. An analogy is a comparison between words that shows how the words are related. So as you can see, I have some words here. I have the words cries, student, baby, and learns. I'm going to create pairs of words that are showing how they are compared. So I'm going to put baby with cries, and I'm going to put student with learns. So now we have a relationship here. I put baby and cries together because babies cry. I also put student and learns together because, hopefully, students are learning. Now listen as I put both words together in a statement that is called an analogy. Baby is to cries as student is to learns. Now I know this isn't the first time we've talked about analogies, but just as a quick review, I'm going to show you how that might look when you see it written. Baby is to cries as student is to learn. So I'm going to continue with some more words here, and we're going to see if we can determine the relationship. Because again, the relationship is a person with what the person does. So a baby, and what they do is they cry. Here the person is a student, and what they do is learn. So let's switch up our words here. This time I am going to use the words plumber, and the other person that I am going to choose is a waiter, or like a server. If you go to a restaurant, a waiter is like the person who waits on you or takes care of you. Now, sticking with a relationship, in this case, I'm going to stick with a person and an object that they use. So a plumber, an object that a plumber might use is a pipe when they come in to like fix your pipes or something. And then a waiter, think for a moment, what is an object that a waiter might use? If you've ever been to a restaurant, something, and I worked at a restaurant, something I used all the time was a tray. So here my analogy would be plumber is to pipe as waiter is to tray. So this type of relationship was a person to an object. If you remember back, our initial one was a person to something that they do, an action. A person to an action. Here was a person to an object. There is another relationship that we can use with analogies, and this one we're going to talk about a person to a location. So a person and where you would likely find that person. So I have two people here. The first one is a judge. The second one is a lifeguard. Think for just a second, where might we find a judge? What location might we find a judge in? The location I came up with, which may be the same as yours, is a courtroom. We might find a judge in a courtroom. So our relationship here is a person to a location. When I thought about a lifeguard, maybe I thought about a pool, but since it's November, I would like to think of a lifeguard being at a beach. So my relationship here is a person to a location, and I have judge is to courtroom as lifeguard is to beach. So again, as a quick recap, when we do analogies, each pair of words, I have them paired up here still, each pair of words has the same relationship. So in the one we just did, the relationship is person to location. And our baby and cries and our student and learns, it was person to action. And in the last one, plumber to pipe, that one was person to object. So what you are going to do now, you have a sheet in front of you that looks similar to this, if you can see it. Alright, on the top there is the first part of an analogy. The one, number 1 says, driver is to truck as, and then you have to circle the analogy pattern. So you're thinking about the relationship between the words. So driver and truck. Would that one be a person to task or a person to action? Not really, because truck isn't an action. How about person to location? Driver is to truck. Truck isn't really a location. How about person to object? Would a truck or would a driver be in a truck? Would that be something they would use? Yes, so then you are going to circle on your sheet where it says person to object, and then you're going to choose from one of these two comparisons or one of these two sets of words that will finish the analogy. So your choices are cook is to kitchen or fins is to fish. Now in our analogy, each set of words has to have the same relationship, and we just decided that our relationship was person to object. So which one of those two choices would finish that analogy? So that is your job. You have 5 analogies on there. You are going to read the first part, determine the relationship, and then circle which choice would complete the analogy, ensuring that both sets of words have the same relationship. Alright, that's it for today. Go ahead and work on your lesson extension. Thank you.